Okay, Assalamualaikum. Welcome to the who on just join us. Okay. All right, Afika first time. Okay, Abdul Azim also first time. Azim just have full time students, right? Okay, which institutions you are, Azim and Afika? Okay, you are from KPTM. All right. Okay. And all right. Nurin, how are you? Where you come from? You all semua dia tak nak buka kamera ke? Hah? Memang boleh je dengar Malu Huh? Okay. Now. Okay. First time from KPTM. Nurin Alia? Hi Aina, Nadira. Okay. Wassalam. All right. Now, have you heard about this control transfer? Okay. Even you first time or part time. Okay. Let's. I started with this control transfer issue. Okay. Now, in ATX, right? Okay. Just to brief, because there are a few of you yang first time ambil ATX. Okay. In final exam or ATX, this paper, professional paper, the strategic paper, is to test students, candidates' ability to apply your tax law and also principle. Okay, so you might consider the different perspective, right, of employers and also employee, and clients and also tax advisor, and even taxpayer and the tax authority. Okay, so you have to know the basic strong tax principle and plus the advanced principle. This is the new crucials dalam ATX. Okay, strong basic. Okay, for example here, it relates to the control transfer. This is the advanced principle that you have to apply dalam ATX. Okay, and this control transfer is actually related to your strong basic principle. Your strong principle adalah, ataupun kita kata basic, you must have strong basic principle towards the applications on the relief for capital expenditure. Okay, so first thing yang you kena tahu tentang when you have or you incurred capital expenditure, what would be the relief that you can apply? Okay, the relief on this capital expenditure include when you claim capital allowance, okay, industrial building allowance, and also your agriculture allowance. And when we include about these advanced topics, the control transfer is advanced topics in ATX. This advanced principle is for you to apply. Okay, when there is a control sales, what will happen to your basic general rules? Okay, when you have capital expenditure, you claim capital allowance. Then when you dispose you dispose your fixed asset. So what will be the general rules? Okay, you have to do bila asset ada dalam business, you claim capital allowance, right? Okay, and when you dispose the item, you have to do the balancing adjustment to find out your BC or BA. Okay, so control transfer, one of the issue related to the company. Okay, when they do their restructuring, or as well as for individual as well. Okay, individual tax juga ada tentang you punya control transfer issue ni. Okay, bila kita kata, bila you dispose your asset, we are not applying this basic principle anymore. Okay, and we will look into the advanced principle when you have control transfer situations or transactions. Okay, and today we will recap, or we will cover what do you mean by this control transfer or control sales, right? And this is, hi Aina, okay, and this is an important topic and always being tested in exam, okay, since it is related to the concept of capital allowance, okay, and normally in question final exam dalam question 1U, Okay, when the company do the restructuring, when they have a merger and acquisitions, okay, and even in the individual tax as well. So one of the important topics in final exam. Okay, now let's we go further. Okay, the introductions parts. Okay, now why this is one of the crucial things dalam ATX. Okay, control transfer is one of the provisions highlighted in the ITA, Income Tax Act. Okay, under para 38 until 30. Para 38 until 40, Schedule 3 of the Act. Okay, this is in order for to prevent related party to claim excessive capital allowance through non-arm's length sales. Okay, first, before I go further about this control sales related, okay, we have to highlight what will be your basis principle. Okay, when you have your fixed asset. Okay, now bila ada fixed asset ataupun non-current asset in your business, you claim capital allowance, you claim industrial building allowance if related, and you claim agriculture allowance. Okay, and this allowance you will apply to the rates given. Okay, the rates are being provided in the final exam, so don't worry, you tak perlu hafal, you can always refer to the tax table given. Okay, and to claim this capital allowance, right, IBA or agriculture allowance, there always be a qualifying conditions that you have to fulfill. Okay, and to claim this, I cover tentang principle dulu. Okay, basic principle. Kalau ada asset, what you should do for tax purpose. So when you have non-current asset, you can claim capital allowance, and the qualifying conditions is IOU. Okay, for all of these three allowances, okay, you must incur the expenditure during the basis period. You are the owner. Okay, and you also must use the asset in the business. Okay, during or at the end of the basis period, the asset must be with you. So if you fulfill these three conditions, then only you can claim CA or even IBA or agriculture allowance. Okay, now what happens if you dispose the asset? Okay, another principle, when you dispose your asset, you have to do your balancing adjustment. Okay, and your balancing adjustment, you will compare your RE with your disposal price or disposal value. Okay, when RE more than your disposal value, then you have your balancing charge. You will be charged. Betul ke? Salah cakap. RE lebih daripada mana tadi? Tengok dia hang. Lebih daripada DP, you akan ada balancing allowance. Okay, if your RE less than your DP, then only you have your balancing charge. Okay, so here now let's okay. So you akan ada balancing allowance. Okay, DP kalau lebih daripada RE baru dapat balancing charge. Itu normal ataupun basic principles. Okay, when you have asset in your business. Okay, now what is this control sales? Okay, control sales. Okay, in general kita kata owner of the business is able to claim capital allowance on any qualifying capital expenditure that they incurred. So in the other hand, if they dispose the asset, okay, it will give rise either balancing charge or balancing allowance. That is normal. Okay, and the purchaser, the new owner of the asset, will claim IA and AA on the qualifying expenditure that they incurred. Okay, so itu normal conditions kita. But now, in order to prevent related party to claim excessive capital allowance through non-arm's length sales, okay, the government has laid down special provisions in the Act, okay, and this is to explain. You also can refer to PR1 2018 to explain details of the tax treatments in relation to the control sales. Okay, now what is this control sales? Right, conditions to satisfy. Okay, control transfer provisions will apply if all of the following conditions are satisfied. Okay, I always refer to three main category. One, who is the disposer? Okay. Second one, you highlight who is your acquirer. A, B. Okay. And whether A and B, the disposer transfer the asset to the acquirer. Okay. And whether the transfer have under control situations at the time of disposal. Okay. And these conditions, okay, if one of the control situations exists at the time of disposal, then you have to apply the control transfer provisions. Okay, and these control transfer provisions also will apply where person have more than one business sources and transfer their qualifying asset from one business to another business sources. That's why I highlight just now, this topic might come out ataupun dia boleh keluar dalam final exam as solely one question to highlight about the control transfer scenario, or dia bagi you case yang panjang, you sendiri yang kena extract the informations. Later we will look into the sample of the question. Okay, and what do you mean by these control situations? Okay, control situations where there is a disposer dengan acquirer. The first one, dispose of the asset is a person over whom that has control. Okay, disposer A dispose their asset to B, but you will highlight what will be the relationship between A and B. If B as the acquirer has control over the A, means there is a control situation. Okay, so you take a relationship between disposer and acquirer. Okay, second one, okay, acquirer of the asset is a person who disposes of the asset has control. The other way, okay, A disposer, the other control B. So anytime when they dispose their asset, so there is a control situations. And you should apply the control transfer punya provisions. Okay, the third one, some other person has control over disposer and acquirer. A and B is being controlled by somebody, C. Okay, so and A transfer the asset to B. So bila they transfer the asset to B, there is a control situation. So what you should do, you akan apply control transfer provisions. Okay, later we will look into what is this control transfer provisions that you should apply. Okay, and number 4, the disposal is affected in consequence of a scheme of reconstructions or amalgamations of the company. Okay, between company. So if the reason you transfer your asset to another company because of amalgamations or reconstructions, then that is control situations or control sales. Okay, and the control situations also can be affected by way of settlements or gift, and also disposal of the industrial building to REIT. Okay, which is a company has control over unit trust. And plus, when you convert your your partnership to LLP, or you convert your company to LLP, there is also control situations. Okay, what would be the normal procedures here? Now, kalau normal, kalau tak ada control sales, apa akan berlaku? A, kalau dia transfer to B, dia asset, A kena kira balancing charge and balancing allowance. Okay, macam biasa. And B, bila dia beli barang daripada A, dia beli aset daripada A, B akan claim IA and AA. Normal, kalau not under control situations. Okay, but if in the control transfer or control situations, A will not have to do their balancing adjustment, and B, dia takkan claim IA. Dia only can continue claim AA. Okay, now before we go further, you have to know the meaning of control here. Okay, when we highlight just now, control situations exist at the time of disposal. So what do you mean by disposer have control over acquirer, acquirer have control over disposer? If the A and B tadi melibatkan company, alright, so we look into the ownership, the shareholding. Okay, if the company own more than 50% of the shares of the company, or they have excessive significant influence on the conduct of the company, then we say the company has a control. Okay, either A or B tadi kan, situations kita, right? And if you are involved with the LLP, right, you are the partnership, you transfer to the LLP, company transfer to LLP, okay, that is also a control. And in terms of partnership or LLP, we highlight that the control is when you own more than 50% of the share. Okay, so 15%, kalau dalam LLP kita kata capital contributions lah. Okay, it can be in cash or in kind. And if you are involved with the partnership, your divisible profit, how much the distributable income that you have from your partnership business. Okay, and so that is mean by control. So kalau kita nak tengok dekat sini, control kita mesti ada ownership of your shares more than 50%. Okay, now what will be the tax implications of this control transfer? Okay, just now kita highlight, if normal conditions, right, when there is no control, A dengan B tak ada siapa-siapa, tak kenal, okay, not under control scenario, so A, disposer shall do or compute their balancing adjustment. Okay, and B, dia akan claim IA and AA macam biasa. But now, if there is a control transfer occur, the tax implication is that QE and RE of the transferor, which is disposer, A, right, will become QE and RE of the transferee. Okay, tadi A, disposer, B is acquirer of the new asset, right? So, transferor ni disposer lah. Transferee, acquirer. Okay, what happened here? B, the acquirer, will continue the QE and also RE yang disposer ada. Okay, and to disposer, there is no balancing charge or balancing adjustment. So means disposer tak perlu buat balancing adjustment, no balancing adjustment. Okay. If normal conditions, not under control sales, disposer have to do their balancing adjustment. They have to compare their RE with DP. So even though acquirer pays some money to disposer with the considerations, they buy the asset, okay, but we will ignore the disposer price here. So disposer shall not have to do their balancing adjustment. Okay, and to acquirer, no IA except for when the deemed disposal date is earlier than the transfer or acquisition date. Okay, normal conditions here, no IA to the acquirer. But later kita akan tengok what will be this, what do you mean by deemed disposal date is earlier than the transfer or acquisition date. Okay, then the number 4, sales proceed is disregarded. Sales proceed to disposer. So sales proceed ni dia punya disposal price or dia punya disposal value. So your disposal value or disposal price will be ignored because we don't need to do your balancing adjustment. You tak perlu nak compare your DP with your RE anymore. Why? Because this is under control. Okay. Then what happened? In the year that you dispose the asset, only one party can claim CA, capital allowance, in the year of the disposal. Okay. Now, yes, any problem? Anything? Any problem? Guys? No.
Madam.
Okay. Now, so what we mean that under this control transfer provisions, okay, the government tak boleh ramai orang claim capital allowance in the same year. Sebab kalau kita kata kita jual, kalau bukan under control transfer, let's say this is YA 2019. You dispose your asset on 1st July 2019. So A akan ada balancing charge ataupun balancing adjustment, and B nanti akan continue claim IA and AA. So dalam tahun yang sama, ada kalaulah A ni dapat balancing allowance, at the same time with the same asset, B akan claim juga IA and AA. So government nak prevent this item, so they give these provisions, they highlight these provisions in the act. Okay, so in the same year, only one party can claim capital allowance in the year that the disposal took place. Okay, now one more thing to aware is when you have this control transfer, no clawback of CA or AA if the disposal is within 2 or 5 years. Kalau CA kita within 2 years, kita kena claw back balik, right? CA kita akan ada BC in the year that you dispose your asset. If you dispose the asset within 2 years. And for the agriculture allowance, if you dispose your asset within 5 years, then you have to charge, you have to occur agriculture charge. Okay, tapi kalau under control sales, no clawback. Okay, so to disposal, clawback is not applicable. To the disposer, no balancing allowance. And to acquirer, dia akan continue claim AA, yang balance yang tinggal. Okay? Nah, ada apa nak tambah, nak tanya? Okay. Now, always in the ATX, okay, when you do your notes or when you study about the certain topic, the advanced topic, always come up with the qualifying conditions. Okay, why is it you have this control sales? Because tadi kita ada control over disposer and acquirer. That is the qualifying conditions you tadi in general. Okay, and the mechanism, okay, how you apply your tax implication. Okay, you know the tax implication, no disposal price and no, they ignore the disposal price, and then acquirer will continue. So mechanism there, look at the requirement. The requirement asks you with regards to disposal or, with regards to the disposal or the acquirer. Okay, and here the mechanism for control transfer. Okay, so we will look into 3 steps. Okay, first you highlight you punya actual date of disposal. Kenapa kita nak ada mechanism ni? Sebab kita nak tengok in which year of assessment the acquirer can claim first CA. And bila last year of assessment, disposer claim dia CA. Sebab kita tak nak dalam tahun yang sama ada 2 parti claim CA. Do you get the idea? So first thing that you want is to determine the deemed disposal date. Okay, you want to find out here the deemed disposal date. So to find out the deemed disposal date, you have to know your actual date of disposal. And this deemed disposal date is actually the first day of the disposal final period. The disposal final periods means tahun yang last kali dia dispose. And disposal final period tak semestinya actual date of disposal. Sebab tu dia panggil deemed disposal date. Okay. And we were referring to, this we're referring to the first year for which acquirer could claim CA. So main things bila ada disposal dalam control sales or dalam control transfer, okay, the what we call the disposal, kita akan tengok pada acquirer. Bila acquirer boleh claim CA, first CA dia. So the first YA for which acquirer could claim CA is actually the actual, you referring to actual date of disposal. Okay, so you draw the diagram, okay, melibatkan disposer and acquirer, and highlight the actual date of disposal. Let's say I highlight today is the actual date of disposal, 25th October 2020. Okay, now second step, This date, your actual date of disposal falls within which year of assessment at the acquirer level. Okay, acquirer tadi person B, right? So dekat acquirer, this date you akan refer tengok pada acquirer punya accounting year end. So let's say acquirer dia punya accounting year end 31st December. So this date shall be in 1st January 2020 ended at 31st December 2020. So for the acquirer, this basis period is for YA 2020. This date, okay, let's say kita kata date ni actual date of disposal. So bila you tahu bila actual date of disposal, you tengok dekat acquirer punya basis period. This actual date of disposal jatuh dalam YA bila. Okay, so to the acquirer, let's say I bagi contoh tadi, dia punya basis period is January to 31st December. So the 25th October is in this basis period. Okay, so basis period you, it is for YA 2020. So acquirer will claim the first year dia boleh claim CA adalah tahun YA 2020. So means disposer tak boleh lagi claim masa YA 2020. Okay, so then we go to the third step. Kita cari deemed disposal date. Now, deemed disposal date, we will referring to the, you know that this will be your YA 2020. So YA 2020 tengok dekat disposal. Okay, what will be the YA 2020 disposal punya basis period? Okay, kalau disposal punya basis period sama January to December, so then your deemed disposal date shall be the first day of disposal final period. Means, okay, this date, kalau YA 2020, the first basis period dia adalah 1st January 2020. Okay, so this 1st January 2020 shall be your deemed date of disposal. And what do you mean by this? Disposer tak boleh claim CA dalam YA 2020. Okay, last period yang dia boleh claim CA is on YA 2019. Ni last dia claim CA. Okay, so no more CA can be claimed in YA 2020. And what happened to disposer? No balancing charge, no balancing allowance for YA 2020. And to the acquirer, dia akan continue claim AA, annual allowance, kalau ada lagi. Okay, and dia akan continue claim the RE and also kalau dia jual to the third party, dia akan continue buat macam biasa. Okay, now let's we go through. Ada apa nak tanya? Ada? Tak ada? So sebenarnya apa yang kita buat ni sebenarnya mekanisme dia, bila you ada control sales, objektif dia tak boleh ada dua orang or two party claim for capital allowance. Okay, so you akan ambil kira actual date of disposal. So you tengok dekat acquirer punya level. Okay, and the actual date disposal to the acquirer, that will be in which year of assessment, and that's supposedly to be the first year that acquirer could claim CA. Okay, so first year which acquirer could claim CA, with referring to your actual date of disposal. Okay, and to the disposer, kita nak determine deemed disposal dates means the first day of disposal final period in which this period disposer takkan claim any capital allowance for that related asset. Okay, so now look at this example questions final exam. Okay, June 14. Okay, question number 4. Okay, in these questions, as I mentioned earlier, the control transfer can be towards the company, involved company or individual. Okay, so here they want you to highlight, support with explanations where necessary, compute capital allowance and balancing adjustment for year of assessment in respect of Blues Neighborhood and Orange Neighborhood. daripada soalan tak ada pun dia highlight pasal control sales. Okay, but requirement asks you to compute capital allowance. So to compute capital allowance, we know that you can compute capital allowance, nak tentukan you punya asset, what will be the type of asset that you use. Okay, and then you determine your QE, and then you determine your IE and AA. Itu basic. Okay, and if you have to compute the balancing adjustments, mean you nak kena cari BA or BC. So balancing adjustments mean you compare your RE with your DV or disposal value or disposal price. So you akan ada BA ataupun BC. Okay, so now we want to highlight whether there is a control transfer scenario or situations between blue and orange. If yes, then what happened? No balancing adjustment in the hands of disposer. But if no, then only you have to compute your balancing adjustment. Okay? You get the idea? So tapi soalan ni dia tak bagi tahu yang okay, there is a control sale, so highlight what be the qualifying conditions. No. So you have to search the informations in the scenario. Now, refer to the case. Okay, here Mr. Sikaya holds 60% of the share capital of Blue, a long-established company which closed the account annually to 30th June, and 80% of Orange Berhad. So dia ada 60% Blue and 80% dalam Orange. Okay, a company newly incorporated on 1st June 2014, which will close the account annually to 31st December. Both companies have issued capital 5 million. Now, ada Blue and Orange sekarang. Blue and Orange is owned by Mr. Sikaya. Okay, now what happened then? On 3rd June, Blue disposed the bread manufacturing business asset to Orange. So Blue is actually the disposer, and Orange is the acquirer. Okay. Now, is there any control sales? Okay, to compute the capital allowance, you can highlight dulu. Is there a control sales account? And if yes, why? Highlight kenapa ada. Okay. Now, second paragraph, bila dia highlight about dispose the bread manufacturing business asset. So there is a business asset here. So there is a disposal of asset. So normal conditions, when you dispose your asset, you have to do the balancing adjustment. That's why the requirement tadi highlight about compute the balancing adjustment, if any. Okay. Do you get the idea? So, bila ada business asset, first thing yang you kena buat, the tax treatments bila you dispose your asset. So, for tax treatments, sekarang kalau financial reporting, when you dispose your asset, you have to compute you punya, again, you have to compute your gain or loss from the disposal of fixed asset, right? Okay, same goes dalam tax. Bila asset tak ada lagi dengan kita, so we have to do the balancing adjustment. Nak cari BC or BA. Balancing charge, kena charge or not on the profit, or you can have the balancing allowance that you can deduct against your balancing, against your adjusted income. That is normal. But if there is a control sales, that normal category, normal scenario will not happen. So what will happen? You bagi tahu tentang control sales provisions. Okay, now, what will be the asset here? Okay, first thing kita tengok, is there any control sales account? What can you highlight? Okay, from here, disposal is Blue, okay, and Orange is the acquirer, and there is a control sales. Okay, what do you mean by control sales, or in which scenario dia jatuh? Okay, kita tengok dekat sini tadi. Right, kita ada transfer control situations. Okay, disposal, what would be the scenario here? Mr. Kaya owns 60% shares in Blue and 80% shares in Orange. So here, there is a control situation as is. Why? Because same other person has control over disposer and acquirer of the asset. Okay, what would be the principle? Principle of control? Kalau control by common shareholders, the control, the individual must own more than 50% shares. Okay. So number 3. Yes, Aina, very good. So some other person has control over the disposal and the acquirer of the assets, and the control is more than 50%. That is your principle. So we can highlight that in this case, Mr. Kaya own more than 50% of share capital of both orange and blue. Okay, so now let's we okay, so first thing yang you akan highlight tentang Mr. Si Kaya tadi. Okay, control sales. Okay, whether there is a control sales scenario or not, what will be the principle? So in answering your tax paper, ATX, okay, always refer to your spec. Okay, what is this spec? Okay, reflect pada scenario, situation. So situations kita nak highlight whether there is a control sales or not. Okay, and then what will be the principle highlight under control sales? If there is a control over disposal and acquirer, then you should apply the control sales provisions. Okay, now under these questions, okay, the principle to have control means in general, if in this case kita kata blue and orange is the company controlled by common shareholders. Okay, so kita ada blue, which is disposer, and orange is the acquirer, right? Both company are controlled by common shareholders. Okay, siapa common shareholders dia? Mr. Si Kaya. Okay, so what can you conclude here? Mr. Si Kaya own more than 50% of the share capital of both company. Okay, so this is the principle to highlight about the control scenario, control transfer, and this is your applications. Okay, apa yang kita masukkan applications, you masukkan balik berapa amounts yang ni principal applications juga, berapa amount yang dia control. Si Kaya ada share dalam blue dia ada berapa persen? 60%, and dalam orange dia ada, you confirmkan balik dia punya applications, reflect back to the scenario and answer, put in your answer your common control tadi berapa. So what will be your conclusion then? Your conclusion shall be, is there any control sales? So this disposal of the business asset by blue to orange constitute your control sales. Okay, so you nak confirm kan? Okay, here you want to highlight, okay, dalam ATX normally dia nak you cerita balik, okay, the identify and explain the principle. You identify, you explain your principle. Okay, and you use it in your scenario. Okay, now when you know that, okay, why is the control sales occurs? Because Mr. Kaya own more than 50% share capital of blue and orange. Okay, and means that blue and orange is controlled by common shareholders. So you will apply control sales provisions. Okay, now what will be your control sales provisions here? Apa yang kita nak tengok? So now look at the questions again. Okay, here kita nak tengok sekarang bila kita punya the first step tadi kita nak tengok mechanism kita. So when should actually the first day, the first year, the acquirer can claim for capital allowance. And your second step, kita nak cari disposal punya eligibility for CA, and what would be your deemed price, deemed disposal price of the acquirer. Okay, so here dia kata, okay, 3rd June 2014, Blue dispose the business asset. So 3rd June 2014 is your actual date of disposal. Okay, you want to find out sekarang ni deemed disposal date you. So the disposal date, the actual date of disposal, what they mean by this ADD, this will be the first year of assessment for acquirer. So 3rd June 2014, you masukkan balik dalam you punya table sebelum kita go through. Okay, kita go through the soalan dia. And then you highlight about the component sales price. Okay, on the land, value 2.8. Upon acquiring the asset, Orange will immediately commence the business of manufacturing bread. The statutory income of the business for the period of 3rd June until 31st December 14 is expected to be 700,000. Okay, now the both company, Blue and Orange, when is actually the company, a company newly incorporated on 1st June 2014. Okay, that is for Orange, and they close the account annually to 31st December. Okay, now kita go back to our basic tadi. So to apply basic sales provisions, we want to find out the first one, kita punya disposal date. Okay, so disposal date you sekarang adalah 3rd June 2014. And what do you mean by this? This falls into second step you tengok pada acquirer punya basis period. So this is fell into basis period 1st June 14 until 31st December 14. Okay, so to the acquirer, YA 2014 will be the first year they can claim capital allowance. Okay, so to Orange, dia punya first eligibility to claim CA is in YA 2014. Now, the third one, to the disposer, okay, which is Blue. What happened to Blue here? Blue disposer is eligible to claim CA up to and including YA 2013. Okay, to the disposer, kita akan tengok dia punya, bila you tengok this will be jatuh pada YA 2014. So, disposer punya YA 2014, the first basis period dia adalah 1/1/2014 juga. Sebab dia punya year ended is 31st December 14 juga, right? Okay, so in this period, first day of the deemed disposal price dia, so Blue akan claim CA until YA 2013 saja. 2014 dia tak boleh claim apa-apa. Okay, and now furthermore, you will highlight what will be the consequences or tax implication to blue. Okay, since this is a control sales, then tax implication to disposal or blue, you will ignore the disposal price. Okay, and what you mean here, your disposal price shall be deemed to be equal to your RE, residual expenditure. Okay, so what do you mean by this? DP equal to RE means no balancing charge or balancing allowance. Okay, for blue. The disposal. Okay, and apa lagi implication dia to acquirer? Nampak macam simple je kan soalan ni. Tapi dia nak highlight about control scenario tadi and control sales tadi, selain daripada implication to the disposal and to the acquirer, they will claim CA on the asset that they acquire. Okay, soalan tadi minta tentang computations of your capital allowance. So you highlight claim for CA dia, apa dia punya asset. So dia ada factory building and also dia ada plant and machinery. Okay, mungkin dia ada apa? Kita tengok sini. Dia ada factory building and plant machinery. Factory land tak boleh claim IBA or AA. So apa yang dia akan ambil nanti? Dia akan ambil kira dia punya RE continue and original cost of blue. Dia akan continue the QE. So AA yang dia akan claim will be based on the original cost incurred by blue. Okay, dia tak akan guna dia punya sales price walaupun orange bayar this amount to blue. So because that the control scenario here. Okay, alright, can you follow? Right, boleh nampak dia punya situations. So sebenarnya control sales ni nak apply masa bila? Dia apply bila ada transfer of business assets. Bila ada asset yang you claim CA and IBA and also agriculture allowance. So kita nak tengok whether you have to do the balancing adjustment or not. If the scenario is under control transfer, means you don't apply the normal principles of tax, but you akan ambil kira control transfer punya provisions, which is no BA, BC, the acquirer will continue claim the AA yang tinggal. Okay, and dia punya AA will be based on the original cost incurred by the disposal. Okay, boleh follow ni? Azim, Afika, okay ke? Right, okay, clear? Now, next scenario. Thank you, Afika. Okay. This is actually December 15, question number 2. If you have your final paper. Okay, tadi nampak simple sebab itu melibatkan individual, si kaya and also the individu yang control over B and C. Okay, now another scenario, okay, this question also can be come out in a long question 1 or question 2, the issue of control sales. Okay, and this is I extracted only part of the questions relate to our informations. Okay, from these questions, you want to identify. Okay, now kita nak tengok dekat requirement B. Okay, yang relate dengan kita punya senario kita untuk control sales ni. When they highlight, explain. Okay, explain the capital allowance implications. This implication, capital allowance implications, so this can trigger out whether there is a control transfer or not. Okay, they highlight you have to explain capital allowance implications. So kalau highlight about capital allowance implications, principle, normal principle you or general principle you, when you dispose your asset, kalau ada asset, you claim capital allowance. You boleh claim IBA. If you incurred qualifying expenditure, you are the owner and you use it in the business. Itu capital allowance punya implications. Okay. Now, bila dia ada transfer, means ada disposal. So, bila ada disposal, what will be your capital allowance punya implications? So, let's say, kalau kita highlight general principle. Okay, for capital allowance. Okay. Now, principles you, kalau nak claim capital allowance, when you are, bila you ada fixed asset, okay, and you incurred qualifying expenditure, so incurred, owner, and you use. Okay, so you owner of the fixed asset, you incurred the qualifying expenditure, and you use the asset in your business, then you can claim CA or IBA or agriculture allowance. Ini normal. So kalau dia masih ada dalam business you, okay, bila nak claim CA, IA, you identify you punya formula you will be QE, then you tolak you punya IA, and then tolak AA. Then you continue dengan RE. So next year boleh claim lagi AA. Sampailah RE you zero. Okay, ini normal principle you. But then, bila you dispose, bila ada disposal of asset, disposal can be in the means of sales, transfer, or even when you receive compensation from insurance company. Also, that also means disposal. Okay, so when you transfer your asset, so you have to do your balancing adjustment. So you will compare your DP with your RE. So kalau DP lebih besar daripada RE, then you will have your balancing charge. Kalau DP kurang daripada RE, you akan ada balancing allowance, either one. Okay, so ini normal. Kalau you dispose, kena buat balancing adjustment. But now, kita nak tengok dalam senario kita, December 15 tu, if the disposal happen between, if there is a control transfer situations, then what will happen? Kita akan tak perlu buat DP dengan, tak perlu cari balancing adjustment. Why? Because we assume DP is equal to RE. No balancing charge or balancing allowance. Bila DP sama dengan RE. Macam no gain, no loss. Okay. And what happened? Yang no DP, no balancing adjustment to disposal. To the acquirer, dia akan continue claim AA based on the QE original cost incurred by disposal. Bukan QE yang dia incurred, walaupun acquirer ada bayar certain amount of money. Okay, now let's we go through these questions. Okay, they highlight resulting, okay, explain the capital allowance implication resulting from the transfer of the rubber plantation business asset by anak to bapa. Okay, now apa senario di sini? Okay, a legal firm, lawyer baik, has referred two potential client, Mr. Chong and Mr. Mano, to the tax firm where you are the assistant manager. So the information is given by lawyer baik. Okay, extract from the lawyer baik brief. Okay, they act for Mr. Chong and Mano. Chong and Mano are Malaysian resident, individual who together hold the share capital of 3 companies. Okay, bapa, kita nak cari info tentang anak dengan bapa tadi. So bapa, anak and cucu in the ratio of 60-40. Okay, sekarang ada relationship tak between bapa, anak and cucu ni? Kita nak tengok anak dengan bapa tadi kan? There is a transfer of business asset by anak to bapa. Anak is disposer, bapa is the acquirer now. Okay. Sekarang bapa dengan anak, siapa own dia? Adakah dia own by, adakah dia punya transfer is under control sales? Who own bapa and anak? Chong. Chong ada 60% shares. Okay. Chong and Manu. Manu 40, so Chong more than 50. So means these two sama macam yang tadi, dia ada kategori yang ketiga. Acquire more than 50% shares in both company. Okay. Can you follow? Okay, now kita dah tengok sekarang. So bila dia ada control sales, so what can you highlight then? Nanti bila dia ada transfer of business assets means the transfer of anak punya business asset to bapa, okay, shall be will be subject to control sales provisions. So bila control sales provisions means no disposal price. Kita ignore the disposal price, no balancing charge should be made, okay? And to the bapa, to acquirer, dia akan continue claim the CA yang ada. Okay? Can you follow? Now, apa yang dia transfer ni? Let's say kita tengok tentang bapa dan anak. Okay, bapa was incorporated on 1st January 2013. Okay, on 8 January, bapa proceed to plant and operate 450 acre of land. The remaining 250 acre of land was leased to anak. Okay, and this is related to, okay, bapa expect to register goods annual profit from all palm plantations business from year assessment 2016, and then the claim capital allowance brought forward. Okay, now kita punya relate, nak info kita sekarang pasal anak, sebab anak yang transfer, anak transfer apa? Asset to bapa. Okay, anak was incorporated on 1st May 2013. On 1st July 2013, they commenced to own and operate fleet of lorries which transport the produce and other supply for bapa. Now, since 1st July 13, anak has also operated 250 acre rubber plantation on the land leased from bapa. As part of this business, anak incurred qualifying agriculture expenditure. So dia sebenarnya ada claim agriculture allowance lah ni, sebab dia incurred QAE kan. Okay, as well acquiring other item, plant and machinery. So dia ada agriculture business, dia ada plant and machinery. Okay, so anak ada claim capital allowance, anak ada claim agriculture allowance. So there are losses brought forward, okay, and then anak accounting service to bapa, and bapa okay, the service entity also being profitable and does not have any unabsorbed. Okay, here dalam case dia yang panjang ni sebenarnya one of the corporate exercising to this company, okay, anak dia akan jadi logistik, dia transport, dia supply procurement company for the plantation. So plantation business dia akan transfer to bapa. Okay, alright. So the scenario here sekarang, anak punya asset, so dia ada tadi kita kata dia ada agriculture expenditure dia, agriculture asset dia, and also plant and machinery. So when they transfer the business asset to bapa, they will be subject to control sales provisions. Why? Because bapa and anak are both controlled by Chong. Okay, Chong who hold 60% shares in both company. Okay, so you masuk pada implications you. So bila soalan tadi highlight pasal transfer of rubber plantation business dengan business asset dia, so what happened then? Principal you, so you akan highlight there is they're subject to control sales. So now bapa and anak akan apply the provisions of control sales. So provisions of control sales tadi, apa yang kita nak highlight? Sama macam tadi, blue dengan orange tadi. Okay, so to anak nanti dia akan claim capital allowance dia, you highlight sampai tahun bila dia boleh claim capital allowance dia, up to YA bila. Okay, and to bapa yang acquire the asset, dia akan start claim dari tahun bila. And kalau dalam soalan tu ada bagi figure, okay, dan you apply, masukkan dalam jawapan you tentang figure yang dibagi, berapa amount yang tinggal. Contoh kalau dia dah ada bagi, macam contoh soalan kita tadi ni, dia ada bagi pasal factory building punya QE, okay, dengan RE. So you apply balik, QE dia berapa, RE dia berapa, and what will be the AA that can be claimed by acquirer. Okay, now dalam case kita, okay, apa lagi yang kita boleh extract daripada sini? The basic principle. Okay, if you have agriculture expenditure. Okay. Alright. Okay, dalam case anak dengan bapa ni tadi, selain daripada control sales tadi kan. Okay, kita nak highlight normal kita akan kata acquirer akan continue claim the allowances yang ada daripada disposal tadi, right? Okay, so dia ada asset tadi, plant and machinery. Okay, and at the same time dia juga ada agriculture expenditure. Okay, means dia ada agriculture allowance yang dia pernah claim. So now, apa yang you boleh trigger out from the questions? Okay, anak incorporated on 1st March 2013. July, dia start business dia. Okay, July 13. Okay, and then for this YA 2014, dia kena transfer the business asset to bapa. So, ada tak lagi balance CA yang tinggal ataupun agriculture expenditure yang tinggal untuk dia claim dia punya allowances. Okay, untuk plant and machinery, tak jadi masalah sebab ni baru tahun yang kedua. So kalau dia kata tahun yang kedua, you incurred masa 2013, 2014 you dispose. So within 2 years. Normal scenario kita kena claw back kita punya balancing charge. Okay, tahun yang kita dispose normal kalau bukan under control sales. But kalau dalam control sales, no clawback. Okay, so when there is no clawback, dalam agriculture allowance pun ada clawback, dalam capital allowance pun ada clawback. Kalau you dispose your asset within 2 years after the date of acquisition, your CA amount will be treated as balancing charge in the year that you dispose. And for agriculture charge, kalau you dispose within 5 years after the date of the qualifying expenditure you, then you akan ada agriculture charge equal to your total agriculture allowance you. Okay, itu normal procedures. But bila ada control sales provisions, no charges shall be applied. You akan continue, acquirer akan continue claim capital allowance, acquirer akan continue claim agriculture allowance selagi ada. Now, untuk plant and machinery, dia baru beli tahun 2013, 2014 dia dispose. So, acquirer akan claim starting YA 2014. Acquirer claim CA untuk plant and machinery. Sebab masih ada kan tahun yang kedua kan. So, dia ada lagi 60% dia boleh claim. Okay. But for agriculture expenditure, okay, this is asset used for clearing of land and new planting. Means dia dah claim 50% in YA 2013 and 50% dalam YA 2014. So means to the acquirer, bila dia dapat balik masa 2000, bapa started to claim is on dalam soalan ni, soalan dia tak panjang, tak habis tadi. Okay, kat sini dia dispose masa YA 2016 ni. Okay, so then dia dah claim 100% dah habis 2014 and 15. So anak dah claim habis, so bapa tak boleh claim lagi agriculture allowance walaupun dia continue use the agriculture asset. Okay, tapi untuk plant and machinery kalau masih ada lagi, you boleh continue you punya capital allowance. Sama juga dengan industrial building allowance, you boleh continue claim dia punya allowances lagi REU masih ada. Do you get the idea for the agriculture business? Okay, so that's why I highlight main principles to apply the capital allowance and also capital industrial building allowance and agriculture allowance. That is very crucial before you nak apply you punya control sales. Okay, now so these are the sample of questions yang mana satu I extract daripada memang solely soalan tentang kira capital allowance, kira balancing charge and balancing allowance. So bila ada senario macam tu, kita boleh nampak macam, oh okay, it might have control sales. Okay, another sample, December 15 ni, dia bagi daripada soalan panjang, tapi dia punya senario explain capital allowance implications. So what can you highlight about capital allowance implications when there is a disposal? Okay, first masukkan tentang principle you, normal principle bila ada capital allowance, and then variation dia kalau control sales occur, what will happen? Okay, alright. To summarize this, okay, you can always refer to this diagram. Control transfer on qualifying asset, and of course qualifying asset adalah asset yang you guna dalam business, and where you can claim your CA, you can claim your IBA, or even you can claim your agriculture allowance. Itu maksud qualifying asset. Okay, and when you want to claim all of this, you must incur qualifying expenditure on the qualifying asset. Okay, kalau IBA, qualifying assets means dia melibatkan you punya IB, industrial building. Kalau CA, the qualifying assets means you incur qualifying expenditure on the plant and machinery yang you use dalam business, office equipment, features and fitting, and your computers. Okay, itu qualifying asset. And agriculture allowance, the qualifying assets is the expenditure that you incurred in the farm, including also building, other building that you use, and living accommodations that you sediakan untuk you punya employee. Right? So that is what you mean by qualifying asset. Now, when dispose the qualifying asset, so disposer has claimed or would have been claimed IA annual ataupun annual allowance for that asset. Okay, and once if one of the 5 control situations exist, okay, tadi kita punya semua dekat sini number 3. Contoh dua-dua soalan kita, disposer and acquirer are under common control. So one of these situation exists, then you will apply the provision for control sales. Okay, and number 3, you kena highlight, acquirer must use the qualifying asset in the business. They continue claim the asset in the business, in running of the business. Then only kita kata kita boleh apply these provisions. Because kita nak apply, kita nak highlight, you nak claim CA, IBA, agriculture allowance, the qualifying conditions you QC dia adalah IOU. Okay, so acquirer mesti use the asset dalam the business. Okay, and apa implications dia bila ada control sales? So this is the implications. You kena cari deem disposal date. Okay, and deem disposal date is actually the first day of disposal final periods. Means this date disposal tak boleh claim lagi any allowances towards the asset. Alright, so you akan compare the first step, you cari you punya actual date of disposal. Okay, and that actual date of disposal you letakkan dekat level acquirer, dekat YA mana jatuhnya actual date of disposal. Okay, and then tengok YA bila, so that YA you compare pula dekat disposal punya level. Okay, and the at disposal level kita nak tengok bila last kali dia boleh claim capital allowance. Sebab tahun yang kita dispose tu yang claim capital allowance adalah acquirer, the actual date. Okay. And to the acquirer, they can claim annual allowance based on remaining RE, residual expenditure yang disposer tinggalkan. And acquirer claim both IA and AA based on the qualifying expenditure if disposer actually incurred QE on or after first day of the disposal final period. Okay. Ini satu lagi contoh yang mana, let's say, okay, tiba-tiba dah QE So I just nak masukkan dekat sini. Bila dia kata bila kita boleh claim, satu lagi contoh sebelum kita go to. Okay, normal kita kata tadi acquirer dia tak boleh claim IA. Dia hanya continue claim AA. AA dia based on the QE, the original cost incurred by disposer. Okay. Tapi ada satu senario yang okay, kat sini disposer implication dia no balancing charge or balancing allowance. Kita ignore sales proceed, kita akan ada DP equal to RE. Okay, kita kata disposal price dia equal to RE. Okay, there is a one scenario, one situations bila acquirer boleh claim IA and AA. Okay, period ni masa bila? Tadi kita masukkan kita punya dalam time frame, right? Okay, actual date adalah disposal 25 hari bulan 10 tahun 2020. Okay, this date jatuh pada acquirer punya, let's say kita kata January YA 2020 dia, basis period acquirer 1 Januari 20, 31 Disember 20. Okay. Now, disposal date ni, kalau tengok pada disposer, okay, bila kita kata sini YA 2020, so you tengok dekat disposer, YA 2020 dia jatuh dekat basis period yang mana? Okay. The disposal actually incurred QE on or after first day of DP. Okay, first day of DP dia will be based on the deemed disposal date dia tadi will be based on the first, kita akan tengok pada disposal punya YA bila kan, untuk YA 2020 ni jatuh dalam period bila. So, let's say kita bagi contoh satu, okay, dia punya accounting period will be first November 19 ended at 31st October 20. Okay. So, ini jatuh pada YA 2020 lah. Kalau kita kata YA 2020, so first YA dia adalah masa first YA pula. First date of the disposal will be 1 November 2019. Okay, means last date yang dia boleh claim adalah YA 2019 in general, right? Okay, tapi kalau disposer incurred the expenses on or after first day of DP. So let's say owner ni, disposer ni yang own the asset, dia sebenarnya beli this asset masa tarikh 1 hari bulan, let's say 1 hari bulan 12, 2019. This is the actual dia incurred the QE. Now, kalau ikutkan YA 2020 disposer tak boleh claim lagi CA sebab last CA yang dia boleh claim masa 2019. But masa 2019 ni, dia belum lagi incurred any qualifying expenditure. So the actual qualifying expenditure, dia beli aset ni masa 1st December 2019. So means here, what will happen for this asset, IA and AA dia shall be claimed by the acquirer. Acquirer akan claim IA and AA based on the actual qualifying expenditure incurred by disposer. Sebab disposer tak pernah claim lagi kalau ikutkan kita punya control provisions tadi, disposer tak pernah claim lagi CA. Sebab masa YA 2019 dia belum lagi incurred any expenditure. Dia incurred expenditure dia masa 1st December 2019 and this period is actually for the year of assessment 2020. Okay, tapi 2020 dia tak boleh claim sebab dia jatuh pada dia dah jual ataupun dia dah transfer asset tu to the acquirer. So acquirer yang akan claim capital allowance and acquirer akan claim CA, for example this is heavy machinery contohnya, so 20% AA and IA and AA based on the QE incurred by disposer. Hanya ada satu aja senario yang mana acquirer boleh claim IA. Situasi yang lain, acquirer tak boleh claim IA. Prinsipal dia, acquirer tak boleh claim IA. Hanya ada satu aja senario bila acquirer boleh claim IA, bila disposer incurred the qualifying expenditure on or after first day of disposal final period. Then only acquirer can claim IA. Okay? Why acquirer can claim IA? Sebab aset ni belum pernah lagi disposer claim dalam tax return dia. Can you follow?
Madam tanya, kalau macam tadi tu dia kira dia punya DDD dia yang mana satu? Kalau macam basis period
DDD
macam
dia?
tadi.
Okay, macam contoh I bagi tadi ni, the deemed disposal date dia, okay, deemed disposal date dia will be 1st November 2019. Faham?
Okay.
Deemed disposal date dia will be, okay, kenapa dia tak keluar? Sorry. Okay, 1st November 2019 will be their DDD, deemed disposal date. Sebab ni dia punya accounting period dia kan? Okay, ni akan jatuh pada YA 2020. So, dia last, supposedly, dia punya last, dia claim CA adalah YA 2019. 2020, acquirer akan claim. Tapi, kenapa acquirer boleh claim IA? Sebab actual date, dia beli aset ni masa 1 bulan 12 2019. Selepas tarikh DDD. That's why lah acquirer boleh claim IA. Kalau actual dia beli ni sebelum tarikh ni, so kalau sebelum maksudnya dia beli, contoh dia beli masa 1 hari bulan 10, 2019. So itu dah jatuh pada period YA 2019 lah, right? So dia dah claim IA, so acquirer tak boleh claim IA lagi.
Okay, thank you Madam.
Aina tak payahlah sakit kepala. Okay Afika. Aina tak payahlah pegang kepala, sakit kepala pula dia. Alright. Yang lain okay? Hi Izzuddin, Natasha, Nurin, Nuril, Hazwani, Suraya, Anam. Okay.
Okay, Madam.
Okay, now any questions you want to ask? Okay. Sampai dah Q&A. So any questions you want to ask? Anything lah with regards, not mainly for the control transfer. Any point yang you nak tanya pasal ATX?
Madam, kiranya possible tak kalau ada soalan control transfer ni melibatkan calculation?
Ada. Kalau melibatkan calculations, okay, kalau melibatkan calculations, hello Natasha, okay. Okay, kalau yang melibatkan calculations, so either dia akan tanya you untuk, macam tadi, dia suruh you kira capital allowance. Yang ni soalan ni tadi. Okay, itu salah satu soalan. Support your explanations, compute capital allowance. Soalan Jun 14
Yang
tadi.
first tadi kan.
Compute capital allowance. So sebenarnya you nak kira capital allowance, so dekat level mana sekarang ni? In respect of blue and orange. So dekat level blue, right? So apa capital allowance yang you akan kira dekat blue? Kita tak ada dah buat balancing adjustment, balancing allowance. So you akan habiskan dekat blue. Means dekat blue nanti dia punya computations will be, dia ada RE. So RE dia equal to DV. DV equal to RE. So dia akan tak ada no BC or BA. Okay. DV dia contoh building 288. Alright. So DV dia will be 288. Ini jadi nil. Then you akan buat untuk orange. Okay, orange akan continue claim. So means dia ada QE. QE dia sama cost dengan yang incurred by blue. So 400,000. And dia ada RE. Dia akan continue RE blue which is 288. And then dia boleh tolak AA. Ni masa bila you highlight tentang tahun dia boleh claim 2000. Contoh tadi 2014 for example. So dia tolaklah dia punya AA. AA dia will be based on, let's say this is plant and building. So 3% daripada QE incurred. So QE dia adalah 400,000. Okay, kalau ada pengiraan dia simple computation je lah. Kalau macam contoh soalan ni 3 markah je. So dia akan ada markah untuk blue dengan orange. So capital allowance dan balancing charge lebih kurang 333.
Okay, thank you madam.
Okay. Alright. Other than that, and dia juga macam contoh soalan yang ni soalan panjang. Okay. Explain the tax implications and then dia highlight about okay, ini general ya. Ada satu soalan kalau dia keluarkan dalam question number 1. It can be part of your tax computations for the company. So let's say you kena buat untuk anak. Okay. Untuk anak punya computations. So dalam tahun yang dia dispose, so you kena tunjuk dalam tax computations you, no balancing charge. No balancing allowance. Okay. So bila you nak kira tax computations untuk anak, tahun yang dia dispose semua aset, walaupun aset tu dah tak ada dengan dia tak boleh claim CA, and at the same time no balancing charge or balancing allowance. And if you have to do the tax computation for bapa, for example, apa akan berlaku? Apa income yang bapa dapat? Okay, apa allowances yang dia boleh claim? So bapa ada agriculture business sekarang ni, so boleh tak dia claim agriculture allowance lagi? And plant and machinery yang dia continue use from anak. So berapa banyak allowances yang dia boleh claim untuk tolak against dia punya adjusted income. Okay. So implications dia boleh jadi soalan yang panjang atau soalan yang pendek lah. Reflect pada requirement you. Alright. Okay, other than that,
nak tanya, so kalau macam nak start study sekarang kan, banyakkan buat soalan ke macam mana?
okay. Banyakkan buat soalan ke? Okay, yes, practice make perfect. Okay, dalam ATX lah, okay, you the issue, okay, yang untuk control sales ni you kena aware yang control sales ni adalah one of the tax avoidance provisions. Okay, under tax avoidance kita ada control transfer, kita ada transfer pricing, okay, ataupun earning stripping rules, okay, and then kita ada part of the tax avoidance lagi, section 104 of the Act. Okay, so biasanya untuk control sales ni dibagi dalam group reorganizations. Bila ada transfer macam tadi anak dengan bapa, okay, and then you should actually address specific issue. So you memang kena banyak buat soalan final exam. Okay, and senario dia mungkin berubah tapi dia punya requirement will be the same. In general, macam tadi dia highlight tentang control, capital allowance implications. Okay, capital allowance implications. So normal and variations. Okay, normal maksudnya kalau CA implications apa? You kena tahu QE, you kena tahu berapa rate untuk IA and AA. And you kena tahu berapa RE yang tinggal untuk you carry forward. Okay, variations dia, kalau dia ada control transfer, apa implications dia? Okay, okay, boleh tak claim IA? IA tak boleh claim lagi. AA boleh claim, tapi pada siapa? So you memang kena banyak buat soalan dalam untuk final exam. Plus, you always can refer to public ruling. Okay, public ruling punya justifications is very easy to understand and can be followed by layman macam kita ni. Okay, and in ATS paper, okay, candidates is actually required to identify. You have to identify to explain the principle that you use in the calculations and to provide well-argued answer. Okay, and you punya skillful applications of tax principle is the key in doing this paper. So you kena tahu principle you macam mana you nak guna. So dalam tax ni kita nak tahu bukan setakat kira, tapi kita nak tahu why. Kenapa kita kira benda tu and how you apply dalam senario ni. Okay, and normally kalau untuk kelas I akan suruh student buat dia punya tax computation dulu. Bila you buat tax computations, then senang you easily untuk you advise, untuk you cerita balik apa you punya reason behind it. Contoh untuk claim capital allowance. Okay, dalam taxcom, capital allowance will be deducted against your, okay, you ada 6 type you to compute your chargeable income, right? So you ada gross income less your deductible expenses, dapat adjusted income. Then you tolak CA. Then you dapat you punya statutory income. Okay. Now, in general, let's say kalau kita kata in relation to question, let's say tadi kita ada orange tadi, or blue and orange, right? Okay. Orange, kalau you kena buat tax computation untuk orange. So orange claim capital allowance for the asset. Okay, kenapa orange claim AA saja? Kenapa dia tak claim IA? So you can explain in your report or in your letter yang you can advise your client ataupun you kena inform balik you punya manager about your implications. So dia boleh claim IA saja because the transfer, this asset is after blue transfer to orange. Okay, and orange is actually continue to claim AA based on the original cost incurred by blue because the control transfer provisions occur here. Do you get the idea? So, you sebenarnya dalam tax paper, you ATS, kita nak explain, you always being tested in relation to the apply tax rules dengan implications. Macam mana you nak apply you punya law? Macam mana you nak apply you punya rules dalam senario you? Okay? Okay. Hai Suraya. Hai. Ada lagi nak tanya? Okay. By the way, you can use this reference code. Okay. Ya, nak tanya lagi, ada soalan boleh tanya ya. So Aiza 30 so you can get discount of copy paper, you qualified for RM30 off if you fill in the form and then you proceed with your registrations for IRC this coming November, end of November. Okay, and you can get discount of RM30. Okay, so your fees will be 390. All right. Oh, thank you, Aina. Okay, and you also can have referral code, boleh ajak kawan-kawan juga. Okay, and then with relations to your okay, apa lagi? Changes. Okay, untuk December exam, sebab ada I dapat message, okay, boleh tak highlight about the changes? Okay, one of the changes that I will share with you today, sebab dia relations to this control transfer scenario, okay, and this control transfer relate to your capital expenditure, right? Capital asset. Okay, one of the changes, implications on the what we call small value asset. Okay, for small, okay, kita pergi sini. Okay, you ada satu small value asset. Okay, the characteristic ataupun qualifying conditions for small value asset. One, kita tengok pada lifespan dia. Okay, lifespan is more than 2 years and cost dia is less than RM2,000. Okay, sekarang ni dulu dia 1,300. So no more 1,300. Siapa yang guna buku baru, please alert with the changes. Okay, small value asset, the characteristic, the lifespan of the asset is more than 2 years, but the cost now is less than 2,000. So what will be the tax implications of this small value asset? You can claim special allowance 100% in the year that you incurred your QE. Okay, so special allowance you 100%. So kalau you incurred 13,000, so you boleh claim 13,000 in the year that you incurred the qualifying expenditure on this small value asset. Okay, another principle with regards to the SME. Okay, if you have this small value asset for SME company, there will be no restrictions on this claim. Okay, no restrictions means you can claim full amount of small value asset, berapa banyak pun yang you incurred. But for non-SME, there is a restrictions of 20,000 on this small value asset. Kalau dulu 13,000. Okay, siapa yang dah alert about these principles is very good sebab this will apply in December 20 punya exam. Okay, and another one with regard to this small medium industry. Okay, the characteristic dia ada dua sekarang ni. Dulu kita hanya tengok pada paid up capital when it is less than 2.5 million. Okay, now another principle that you have to look the conditions, gross income, okay, of the company okay, income from business, okay, means from business does not exceed RM 50 million for the basis period. So dua benda yang you kena tengok kalau you nak tentukan company tu SME or not. And two things that you will look into, the paid up capital still lagi less than 2.5 million. And another principle you have to look into, the gross income from business must not exceeding 50 million. Okay, at the beginning of the basis period. So you kena kira dia punya gross income from the business mesti tak lebih daripada 50 million. So kalau lebih 50 million, the company is non-SME. So you akan apply restrictions of small value asset and you akan apply apa? Apa implications dia bila company SME? Kalau company SME ada satu small value asset, no restrictions. Okay, and then second one, you akan apply about the scale rate. Scale rate, you maknanya you guna 2-tier tax rate. And the third one, with regards to the pre-commencement expenditure. Okay, so these three items will applies to SME. But SME sekarang ni kena tengok dua benda ni. Kalau salah satu not fulfill, then the company will follow company biasa, non-SME. Means small value asset, other restrictions 20,000. Tax rate will follow, tax rate you will follow 24%. Yang ini restrict 20,000. And pre-commencement expenditure is non-deductible item. Okay, for non-SME. That is the implications. Itu satu sebab kita relate dengan capital allowance tadi, right? So capital allowance kita nak relatekan dengan small value asset tadi. So these are the new changes lah in December 2020. Okay. Other than that, okay. Untuk IRC December nanti, medium upload recorded sessions ke? Yes, there will be recorded sessions will be uploaded. So TYMBA will alert you, and we will inform you in the WhatsApp group. Okay, whether the material have been uploaded or not. Okay, so stay tuned with the WhatsApp and also with your database with TYMBA. TYMBA will give the link to you, right? So macam hari ni punya kelas dia dapat link kan di TYMBA yang highlight, right? Okay. Okay. And for if you sign up for my IRC sessions, you will get you can ask any questions in the WhatsApp group, or even you can personally message I. Okay. And I prefer if you ask in the WhatsApp group because sometimes other persons nak tanya benda yang sama juga. Okay, tapi dia tak tertanya sebab busy kan, masing-masing busy kan, kerja lah apa kan. So at least bila you tanya dalam tu, I jawab dalam tu, so semua orang boleh dapat info yang sama dan latest lah. Okay. Okay. There are a few changes. Okay. Not really changes. Most of the students will highlight whether there is changes in syllabus for ATX or TX paper, even TX paper. We are not said that there is a changes in syllabus. Syllabus you tak berubah. It's still the same. Okay. But you have to update with the latest rules and regulations, the tax law. Okay. Yang lain tu semua sama je. Cuma macam ni lah. Bila ada latest changes, tax rate yang berubah. Okay. Tax rate you for individual not 28% lagi. Company still maintain 24%, but individual higher rate will be 30%. So you have to alert with your tax table. Okay. And practice from now to do your final exam questions. Untuk you tengok, sometimes they will cycle back the scenario, the case scenario, but the question might be slightly different. Or they will cycle the requirement of the questions, but scenario dia the other industry or other category of individual or tax person. Okay, so be alert with the requirement itself. So bila you tengok requirement, go detail on the requirement. Dia highlight about which taxable person yang dia nak tanya. You nak kena cerita pasal macam contoh tadi control transfer, you nak kena cerita pasal disposal punya point of view ataupun acquirer punya point of view. Okay, apa implications dia. Alright, okay. Nur Syahira ambil paper apa lagi December exam? ATX dan? No, tak ada. Nur Syahira dah tak ada. Okay, SBR. Oh, but, bukan SBR dengan, kalau you ambil dengan TYMBA, date kita berlainan. SBR dengan ATX, tak silap I. Ke sama date? I tak sure. Okay. Ada yang lain? Ada lagi? Anam, Suraya, Hazwani? Okay, okay. Class, we prefer to be face to face, okay, masa IRC. But that will be following to the latest government's announcements. Okay. We pray for the best, okay, and we also don't want the COVID to be spread, but these 2 days dah naik dah 4 digit, right? 1,000 dah. So hopefully reda. So kita punya kelas pun lagi sebulan kan, end of November. Hopefully masa tu kita dah boleh face to face. Okay. But if not, we will do our class kira online lah macam sekarang. Okay. So you punya date, you tahu kan kalau kita punya RRC nanti masa end of December, 2 minggu tu, 21, 22 and also at the end of the December. Okay, ada lagi soalan lain? Boleh je nak tanya selain daripada control sales. Or you tengah belajar dekat 28 dengan 29 and kita ada 4 hari Satu lagi tu 22, tak silap 21, 22 macam tu. Okay. Okay, changes lagi, amendments selain daripada small value asset, you punya tax rate. Okay, kita ada donation. Okay, donations and then with regards to the withholding tax as well. Donations, okay, in general donations, kalau dulu individu for the approved donation to the approved institutions, okay, for individu limit to 7% of the aggregate income. But now, individu and taxpayer lain, even company or trust body, semua sama 10% of the aggregate income. Okay, the limitations to the donations to the approved institutions. This apply to sama 10% macam company. Okay.
Madam,
Itu je lah dua tu. Yes,
nak
Afika.
tanya,
Yes.
kalau individual kan, katakan Mr. A, dia ada control, dia ada 60% control dalam company A. And then company A ni, dia ada sub bawah dia 40%. So maksudnya Mr. A ni tadi, dia kira control both company lah.
Okay, the control can be direct or indirect control. Boleh. So kalau you kata dia ada control tadi, now let's say okay, company A ada berapa tadi? Control company B.
Mr. A, individual.
Okay, Mr. A
Dia
control B.
Company A. Lepas tu company A dia control company B.
Okay, company A. So ni ada 60%.
Yes.
Okay. Lepas tu company A dia control company
B.
Dia ada 100%.
Tak, dia 40%.
40%. Okay, kalau 40% ada control tak? A dengan B. Sorry, 40%.
Tak.
Okay. Now A pergi Mr. A dengan B, you akan tengok ni 60 times 40. Berapa? 24%, right? So A dengan B tak ada control because less than 50%. Okay? And kalau dia more than 50%, then dia akan ada control lah. Let's say kat sini A dengan B, A control B 100%. So Mr. A dengan B, okay, akan ada control lah. Sebab dia more than, so dia 60%, right? Nanti you akan dapat 60 times 100%, you akan dapat 60%. So A to B, dia akan ada control sebab more than 50%. Okay, apa tadi?
Okay, tapi ada satu lagi soalan, Madam.
Okay, boleh.
Kalau yang ni dia ada Mr. A juga.
Okay, Mr. A.
Lepas tu dia ada, bawah dia ada 5 company.
5 company.
So A, B, C, D, E.
A, B, C, D, E.
Dalam company A 60%.
60%.
Company B 80%.
80%.
C 40%.
40%.
D dengan E pun 40%.
D dengan E 40%.
Lepas tu A, B, C, D ini semua ada control, ada 20% share dalam F. Bawah dia tu ada F.
Okay, ni semua control F.
Tapi
Okay.
20% je untuk
Oh,
each.
semua 20% lah sebab 5 people, so 20% lah each kan? Kita harap 5. Okay. So, senario dia, okay, kalau maksud you, kalau A transfer to F. Macam tu?
Nak tahu maksudnya kalau macam ni dikira macam mana? Kiranya kalau Mr. A tu dia ada control ke tak?
Okay. Mr. A control A. Mr. A control B. Ini ada control, yang ni ada control. Okay. Mr. A tak control C sebab 40%. Ni 40, ni 40. Dia tak ada control, sini tak ada control.
Okay.
Okay. Tapi you kena tengoklah C siapa control dia. Mungkin ada Mr. B yang 60%. So itu lain kira lah kan. Okay, now bila A dengan B, dia transfer the asset. A transfer B, B transfer to A. So kita guna yang reason yang ketiga tadi, common control.
Okay.
Okay, common control by Mr. A. So kalau A transfer barang to B, so kita akan apply Kita akan apply the control transfer provisions. Now, kalau B transfer barang to F, okay, what do you think? B, sekarang A, B, F. B dengan F 20%. Ni 20% juga. Betul? So, A dengan B ada berapa persen? 60 times 80. 48%, right? So sekarang, bila B transfer to F, adakah dia dalam control transfer provisions? Ada direct control tak?
Tak ada.
Tak ada. So untuk control kita tu, kita boleh jadi untuk dalam control sales tadi, control transfer kita, dia boleh jadi direct ataupun indirect. Okay, direct or indirect, but the control must be more than 50%. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Aina tanya. Okay. If dah setahun tak belajar, TYMBA nak start dari mana? Start dari mula. Okay, start dari mula ni. Kalau I start dengan tengok you punya basic tax computations. Okay. And then setiap level basic tax computations itu, you highlight about apa yang you boleh claim. So contoh 6 type yang kita ada tadi, gross income, adjusted income, statutory. Number 4, kita punya format aggregate income. Number 5, total. And number 6, your chargeable income. Okay, kalau company, kalau nak melibatkan you punya insentif. Okay, dalam TX ada banyak insentif. So insentif, it can be in terms of deductible item, expenditure, ataupun you claim incentive in terms of assumptions on your income. Okay, ataupun assumptions, the allowances. Okay, so you kena tahu allowance you tu dekat mana dia akan wujud. So kalau deductible item dekat sini. Kalau capital allowance dekat sini. Tapi kalau you ada ITA, 60% of your qualifying expenditure. Kalau ada RA, 60% of your qualifying expenditure. Okay, kalau you ada final status, you dapat assumptions 70% of your SI. Okay, so dekat mana dalam tax com you dia akan wujud. So, you kena tahu dekat level mana supaya senang you nak ceritakan pasal insentif you ataupun you punya tax implications. And kalau dah setahun tak belajar tapi basic you ada, principle you ada, buat terus final exam sebab dia lagi sebulan lebih ni kan, 2 bulan lah. Sebenarnya tak sampai pun 2 bulan. This is end of December already. So you ada dalam sebulan lebih saja before you punya final December. Okay, so do the past year exam questions, read through the technical article, okay, and go through the examiner report. Okay, so kalau macam Aina kata, kalau I akan start dengan examiner report, tengok point yang examiner highlight dalam the report. With related, for example, you tengok examiner report 2018, September exam contohnya. So dia highlight pasal isu yang mana. So then you can start with that issue first. Okay? Boleh Aina? Okay, read the examiner report and do the past year exam. So you boleh nampak nanti sebenarnya benda yang sama je dia tanya. Tengok requirement dia sebenarnya benda yang sama je. So you boleh tackle and make sure time management is very important. So please do in the exam conditions. Try to do your question dalam exam conditions. Okay? InsyaAllah boleh punya. Okay. Alright. Anything else? And make sure dulu kalau you tahu siapa yang pernah ambil sebelum ni, so you tahu you like dekat mana, markah yang you kurang tu sebenarnya dekat mana, so tackle that first. Okay? And selalunya most of the students kalau part-timers yang biasa I dapat kenapa fail, one thing common ya, tak habis jawab, tak cukup masa. So that means time management fail. Right? So you jangan tinggalkan satu kawasan pun kosong. So you try to attempt walaupun you letak satu baris ayat. So kalau you letak sebaris ayat pun still you macam you try to attempt. Contoh kalau soalan tadi tanya pasal capital allowance implication. So you just put the principle dalam tu, you can get one tick already. Normal principle, so you highlight. General principle for capital allowance claim apa? So tapi sebab kita sempat, kita kata oh tak sempat ni nak tengok kes ni dia ada control ke tak. Then you kena sempatkan lah, sekarang masih boleh sempatkan lagi. So masa final exam hopefully you dah practice, so senang lah you nak dapat the point tu. Okay. Tak nak buka kamera ke? Sekali je satu before we end our sessions. Hi Afika. Ni lah dia punya Afika. Suraya, hi. Abdul Azim Nazri, Natasha, Imanina. Okay, Madam kalau duduk jauh from KL cannot attend physical class. Okay, yes. Previous semester for September exam, IRC, we conduct both. So we are the physical class at the same time, the online pun on juga. Okay, so you boleh tanya dekat chat kalau you nak tanya masa tu, and you can always turn on your camera. Okay. So masa September itu kita buat macam tu juga. Okay, Natasha, Suraya, Aina. Okay. I kena hantar bukti ni.
Tak boleh buka lah pula kamera, tadi nak buka.
Tak boleh buka pula. Hi Aina, lama tak nampak dia. Okay, Izzuddin. Nurul Hazwani. Nurin. Okay. Hai Nurin Alia. Macam familiar je muka. Kita pernah jumpa ke? Tak pernah? Okay, sorry tak ada kamera ya ke? Okay, never mind. I just snap here. Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3. So, anything, if you want to join the RRC session, so any classes you boleh letak referral for the referral Aiza 30 and hopefully to see you during IRC. Okay, and siapa ada lagi kawan-kawan yang nak ambil December exam, boleh ajak dia sekali masuk IRCI, masih lagi ada masa, okay, and other paper as well, okay. So you still can register and hope for the best. Kalau kita dapat physical face to face, alhamdulillah. If not, we still conduct our IRC through online. Okay.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much for attending these sessions. Okay, hopefully it give you meaningful information so you can take the info. Okay, yang baik dia datang daripada Allah, yang kurang tu datang daripada saya. So hopefully maafkan kalau ada salah silap. Okay. Alright. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. Alright. Thank
Thank
you very
you,
much.
madam.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you
madam.
to you too.